Hey everyone, welcome to my first video of a brand new channel that I created surrounding the Three Kingdoms phase of history. I'm going to be doing a lot of Dynasty Warriors playthroughs, Total War Three Kingdoms, Dynasty Warriors Empires, Extreme Legends, all of those for you guys for this channel. So I really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, thumbs up the video, and we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to do some very basic beginner-friendly playthroughs where people that potentially have never even seen this game before can enjoy this game from a beginner perspective, and then maybe they can get the game themselves. Now, as you can find, this is a total war game. So this is large scale battles, alliances, wars, proxy wars, trade wars, hire spies to assassinate other rulers. You can execute officers. You can recruit new officers. You can marry other champions to create children, so you can have heirs to your throne. There is so many different things you can do. This is basically Dynasty Warriors 4 or Dynasty Warriors, any Empires game on crack. So anyone enjoyers of that game will really enjoy this game. For our first playthrough, we are going to do one of everybody's favorite characters. That is Liu Bei. So before I get started on the playthrough, every hero that you can choose or ruler has their own sort of, let's say, like racials or traits that come with them. So as you can see, unique features, they come with certain units, and they also have different things that make them a good ruler or not a good ruler. You're going to find that when you play the game, you also have officers that have a general happiness bar. And if they're not happy, they will leave, they will go somewhere else, or they could potentially be spies that you have recruited and they will try to assassinate you yourself. So this is a really fun playthrough. Now, Liu Bei actually starts with some noteworthy characters that you might know from the Dynasty Warriors games: Chen Gong, Diao Chan, Zhang Liao, and Giao Sun. Now, I do pronounce some of these names wrong on purpose, and that's just for you guys to laugh. For example, everybody calls Cao 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 Cao, so I probably will end up doing that, but I just do it to make you guys laugh. Now, there is different ways you can play the game. Records is the most traditional way. It's literally just strategy based, where your officers aren't extremely overpowered. The romance one is, think of like Dynasty Warriors. So I can walk in with Liu Bei and just destroy a whole army really by myself. You know, I'm being a little dramatic, but you get the point. So we're going to play records wise, where you actually have to be careful about where your officers are and things like that. You cannot just bring your officer and his bodyguards into a battle fighting two ranks or retinues and just think they're going to live. Your officers will and can die in battle. So that's incredibly important to think about. So we are going to play Liu Bei. Now, I'm doing my battle difficulty on normal because I'm not a great expert. I'm not great at the game. I've just put a lot of hours into it, but I am going to play a very hard difficulty. Now, the starting situation, they rank it as normal for Liu Bei. Honestly, I think it's one of the most harder. I think it's might be the most difficult one, simply because if you don't play through the story, as you're going to find out later on, you have Cao Cao and a couple other rulers just breathing down his neck. And you don't really have a home base to really start at, as you're going to find when I start this game. So let's go ahead and get started. You can also click show map and you can see kind of where everybody is. So here's obviously where I start. Here's Cao Cao. Here's Liu Chong. You have Wan Shu. And you have some of the other people like Yuan Chao. And you have Liu Bei. You have He Yi. You got a bunch of different ones. So we're going to go ahead and get started now. Wow, I'm really sorry. I don't know how I skipped that cinematic. I did not mean to do that. As you saw Liu Bei killing Dong Zhuo, you saw Cao Cao, you saw Liu Bei, and you also saw Song Jian dying there. So Song Jian is not in this game in this time period, so he is actually succeeded by Sun Quan. So a lot of this stuff is relevant to the game itself in Dynasty Warriors. I know Dynasty Warriors kind of spins off and sometimes doesn't really follow the history too much, but this game really does a good job of that. Again, Liu Bei has a very difficult starting spot, and It does say normal because you're going to find out that one of the rulers, which I'm assuming you all know is Liu Bei, will basically reach out to you and be like, okay, I'm going to help you against Cao Cao. Let's get him off your back. Now, if I follow that story, it makes it a little bit easier and you actually have the chance to basically betray Liu Bei later on in the game, which I think in this playthrough, we probably will follow that story, but you're going to find that I'm going to play super aggressive and really just kind of mean and all gas, no brakes. We are just going to conquer as fast as we can. And then eventually you're going to find that we probably won't succeed in this campaign because the amount of players we're going to execute and the amount of just wrong stuff we're going to do, you're going to find that a lot of rulers are going to be coming for our neck pretty quickly, but it is fun. So you will get quests throughout the game, and if you complete these quests, they will give you rewards such as money, fame, prestige, things like that. So as you can see, we are in a rough spot. As I said, Lu Bu might have the most difficult starting spot. As you can see, we have our kingdom or our castle just completely surrounded by Cao Cao and more of his units. And as you can tell, if you click on their units, you can see who's with them. So it's Cao Cao and Yu Jin. And then we also have Zhong Yu, Cao Ren, and Dian Wei. So these are all characters that are in the Dynasty Warriors series, and all of them are playable officers, which is awesome. So again, this is a very beginner-friendly tutorial essentially and playthrough. So I'm not going to just be an expert and just start playing without really talking. I'm going to be doing a lot of yapping. So on the side here, you have who I have in my army. You have your army. You have these, and now you click these to basically upgrade what's in your kingdom to make money. So for example, I can click on this and I can upgrade state workshops, private workshops. And as you can see on the left, it kind of gives you info about what it does, more income from commerce and things like that. Now, I'm not going to go too far in until these situations pop up, but I do love the intros. We just saw the intro, and basically what the narrator does is basically give you strategies that you can use. You don't have to follow their advice, but it is very beginner friendly. So unfortunately, this is lost. There is no way that I can turn around and hold this off against an army that size and also Cao Cao being here. However, you are going to find that we have more playable characters. We have Zhao Dun and Zhao Wan right here. Now, what I talked about with momentum is that he can continue moving after his turn. All characters in this game outside of Lu Bu only can move once per turn, but Lu Bu is different. He has one of the traits that make him unique in this game. So as you can see, this is surrounded. Now, if I wanted to be funny, I would just turn back around and try to defend this, but it's not probably not the optimal thing to do. I will tell you that I'm not a battle expert, and a lot of this I will just be doing and talking and doing a lot of the diplomacy stuff. I will do some of the fun battles like holding off, like a castle or things like that, or a fort. But overall, I'm not really going to be doing too many of the battles. We're just going to be doing a lot of the behind the scenes things, but we'll definitely do some battles. So what the game wants you to do here, obviously, is fight Zhao Dun. And again, these beginning battles I'm not going to do. You can either battle, you can do delegate, which basically is a simulation. Now it's going to tell you, the AI is going to tell you if you're going to win or lose. If you decide to simulate while it says you're going to lose, well, you're going to lose. And then you don't want to do that, obviously, because your officers can get executed. They can capture them and rehire them for their faction, or you're just going to lose your army. So we're going to go ahead and delegate this, which means it basically just sims it for me. And as you can see, basically the battle will tell you how it goes by how the characters react when they battle like that. So as you can see, it shows how many we deployed, how many we lost, and how many we captured. Now, when you win a battle, this screen will come up. So obviously we captured Zhao Dun. Obviously he doesn't want to work for Liu Bei. I think that'd be the weirdest thing ever. We can either release him and get money for it, or we can just kill him. And as I said, we will end up just being absolutely ruthless in this playthrough, and we are taking no survivors. So our very first character that we have captured, Zhao Dun, eye patch and all, executed. So we just killed Cao Cao's cousin. Now, when the battle is over, you can either just hold the enemy troops for ransom and you get paid. You can take the military supplies, or you can maintain momentum. This is Liu Bei's unique feature where you can basically play again or move again after you won the battle. Now, obviously, look, as you can see, when you go into a battle, you will be tired, but you also get replenishment after the fight's immediately over, which is a kind of a crazy stat. So we're going to go ahead and maintain momentum. Obviously, that army is slain, and now we can move again. He also has a greatest warriors trait where if you beat certain warriors from the game, as you can see, Zhao Dun now has his eye patch, you get things or rewards for beating some of these characters. So as you can see, to unlock 15 prestige, we would just need to defeat Xiao Wan, who's literally right here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So as you saw that little green arrow, that means that we are in reinforcements range of one of our towns or one of our castles, or, keep, or whatever you want to call it. So this guy right here is essentially our reinforcements from this city right here. So we can click here and you can see what they're going to bring for reinforcements. Just a captain, 2 units of spearmen, and a archer militia. So with that being said, Zhao Wan has 95 troops. We have 1,000. We are just going to absolutely smoke this guy. Now, night battles. Night battles are where, obviously, you fight them at night, and the enemy's morale is extremely low. These are very favorable battles, and the only way you can get them is from your units being upgraded. So, for example, Chen Gong, who is a master strategist and considered a awesome strategist in history, in real history, has night battles. So sometimes when you have those active, you can use them, and they are very, very useful. So obviously 1,000 against 95. We're not scared. We're just going to fight him. And we should be able to capture him just because this is the beginning stuff. So as you can see, we just captured Zhao Wan, and we're going to execute him as well. So we have just killed both of Cao Cao's cousins. I'm sorry, Cao Cao, but that is how it's going to go. We just got to rank up from that. So we go second Marquis, and we can use these points for different things. So as you can see, as we go down here more, you get different things like character experience. You can get remove character salary, which is huge. You can use trade agreements. You can do it more towards spies, or you can do it towards getting more armies, and more satisfaction from your officers. So right now, we are going to probably take the minus 5% character salary, I think. No, we're actually going to go ahead and we're going to take the satisfaction for now, because you're going to find a lot of the officers that Liu Bei has, they don't really like him. And in fact, that is what we're going to do next. So as you can see here at the top left, here is your food supply. And obviously if this is negative, you're not getting, you can't, it's harder to restore your troops between turns, and people will become unhappy, and then people in your cities will start to rebel, and then that's when you start getting like the yellow turban revolts in your own cities. So right here is 497. That means we're making about 497 per turn, but that will change because we're still getting money from this. Once they take this over, that money will be cut. So we need to find ways to make money, because obviously we're not making money off of a farm system. We're actually losing money. So what we're going to do is something funny, is we're essentially going to basically cut some of our officers to save money. And it's funny because actually some of these characters are actually some of the ones that defect to Cao Cao in the Dynasty Warriors games. I think it's Dynasty Warriors 7 or Dynasty Warriors 8, that some of these characters actually defect from Lu Bu's army at the Battle of Shapi, and they go to Cao Cao's side. So we're going to get rid of them. So as you can see here, this is just a generic looking officer, but as you can tell, he is not very happy. He desires a higher corporate position, general discontent, lack of purpose. Now, when you hire an officer that is known from the Dynasty Warriors games, like for example, if I hired Sima Yi for some reason, he's going to be unhappy very early because he's already going to want power in my faction. And so that's something you need to keep in mind. So with him being extremely unhappy, and I'm not even using him right now, we're just going to go ahead and release him. We're going to release actually all of these generics, mainly because we don't really need them right now, but also it's going to save us a lot of money. So now all we have is Lu Bu himself with his wife, Lady Yan. We have Zhang Liao, we have Diao Chan, and we have Zhao Sun. And we also have Lu Bu's daughter, who's actually the heir, and that is Lu Ji. Now, these characters do not become playable until they are 16 years old. So I will not be able to use Lu Ji at all as a character until she is 16 years old. So we're going to go ahead and move off of the screen. I will say one more thing. The X means that they do not like somebody. So as you can see, Chang Gong and Lu Bu do not like each other, which is pretty prevalent in the Dynasty Warriors games. So as you can see, we gained money from cutting some of these officers. So our next move is, well, really, what are we going to do? This is basically cut off. This is gone. We could cross the river, go north, and just find some sort of place there. Or we can try and take this castle from Zhang Ba, who actually turns out to be one of Lu Bu's officers in the Dynasty Warrior series. We can take that. There is a lot of different options that we can do, and this is why I absolutely love this game. You don't have to do a certain thing. You don't even have to follow the story that it's going to eventually provide for us. So what we're going to do here actually is we're going to recruit some troops. Now you can see that Lu Bu has some expert cavalrymen. These guys are absolutely insane and some of the best units in the game. The problem is if you take a look, they cost 352 gold a turn. That's really expensive. So in order for us to move around and save money, we are going to take the cheap route and essentially cut those cavalry. Is it a good decision? Not really, but we need to save money. So what we're going to do is instead of spending 352 for cavalrymen, we're just going to take some very basic units and give us some saber militia. As you can see, we're still saving a ton of money, but our forces are growing. With Mr. Cheng Gong here, we don't have more money to bring in more troops, so we'll just grab one unit and then we will stop there. And you will always restore your troops faster when you are parked at a city or town. So we're going to end our turn here, and it will show you that obviously Cao Cao is going to try to come in and take this castle. Now I could, even if I don't have officers there, I can still play the battle, which is super interesting. We are not going to do that. Obviously we are outnumbered by about 1,000. It is just not looking good for us. We're just going to let it go. And as you can see, we lost all of our men. Salute. And they have taken that town. Now, Cao Cao is on the move, assuming he wants to come and fight me. Now, if I wanted to be incredibly risky, what I would do here is just recruit more troops, maybe recruit Zhang Liao for this fight, and then just go straight after Cao Cao, which I have done before. And like I said, I do want to play super aggressive. And I think it could be kind of fun just to bull rush him and kind of see what happens here. So let me just kind of map out what we're going to do here, and we will go from there. So as you can see, all the rulers take their turns, the Naman tribes, the remainings of Yellow Turban, and all like that. So since we cut those officers and we cut the cavalrymen, we are still have an income, which is insane. And that's honestly really good for Lu Bu. So as you can see, Dian Wei is now parked in our old city. And as you can see, you can't really see the rest of the map. The map is huge. As you can see, this is the whole game. Like there is so much of this game, and we are just a little speck in the galaxy. So what we could do is if you also take your army, you click on your army and you scroll over to them, you can kind of see what the odds are. So balance of power is obviously we are not going to win that fight. So we are going to go ahead and we're going to grab more troops. We're going to get 2 more and we're going to end our turn here because I really want to see what Cao Cao does. I think he's just calling his bluff here. Remember, we are playing a very hard difficulty. So I'm just going to kind of wait this out and I'm going to see if Cao Cao is actually going to come after me. And it looks like he's, I don't know where he just went. He could be ambushed. And that's another thing too. If you see the trees here, oh, and here's a diplomatic proposal. So Huang Zhu wants us to pay him money. You're out of your mind, pal. I'm not paying you money right now. I am not paying you any money. So as you see these trees here, if you park your army in these trees, you have a chance to ambush allies, which makes it enemies, and it makes it a whole different battle, and it makes it super interesting. So I really don't know if Cao Cao is hiding here. I can't remember. I didn't see him. I did not pay attention. Now, we got this really early. Our 3rd turn in the game, Liu Bei has come to save us. Cao Cao's presence is overwhelming, and the outcome of the war is unclear. We could instead surrender and offer our services to Liu Bei, allowing us to gather our strength and strike against Cao Cao at a later date. So we could either continue fighting and just say, you know what, Liu Bei, go away, we don't care. Or we can just join Liu Bei's army and essentially we are a vassal of him. Now, what that means is essentially we are under his leadership. Now, that kind of does happen in the Dynasty Warriors games, and you're going to find, and I think it's Dynasty Warriors 4, maybe 5, that this is exactly what kind of plays out, and then Lu Bu bites his hand and, you know, takes Xiapi for his own, which we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and follow the story here, and we're going to pretend to be cool with Liu Bei to get Cao Cao off our back. And like I said, we're going to play ruthless. So we're just eventually, once we get an army strong enough, we're going to bite Liu Bei's hand, and we're just going to go and be extremely reckless. So we're going to go ahead and join Liu Bei. So as you can see, we joined Liu Bei. That means it forces peace with Cao Cao. So Cao Cao is no longer mad at us, even though we just murdered both of his cousins. But the problem is that we had to give up our territory. So look, we have nothing. We have nothing. The blue means that is your vassal, and Liu Bei was nice enough to give us a la Xiapi. So that means that eventually we would have to get back over here, or we could just really do our own conquest and go north and just fight Zhang Yang because we want to. And, well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're just going to go over there and we're going to mess with them a little bit. Now, the problem here is obviously because we're essentially not in our own territory, we're not recruiting troops. That's why the plus has a X through it. So right now, we could either just disband this army and regroup it at Xiapi, or we can just get incredibly reckless and do Lu Bu things and just go and try to slaughter whoever we can get. And I think that's what we're going to do. Now, this battle will be pretty hard. So there will be certain people that will literally just give you money to sign peace with them because they are essentially afraid of you. So Zhang Hong, which we're not even sure where he is on the map yet, he says, you know what, Lu Bu, I'm going to give you 180 gold. Just don't kill me. We can do that. We can do that. This game is incredibly fun. I love this game. I've put an insane amount of hours into this game. So now we are going to, here's Hulao Pass, by the way, the famous battle that everybody loves. You're going to go here. And now we haven't declared war on this guy yet, but he obviously knows we're breathing down his neck. Now, as you saw that tree branch, this is your skill tree. This is where you can upgrade things. You can use it to upgrade more units or recruit more units. So as you can see, if I click this, we also get on the right there, it says unlock units. But then we get oil, we get towers, and we get wooden stakes for battle. That is huge when it comes to battles. We are going to take those. As you can see, some characters are more developed in certain regions than others. So we have Zhang Yang here. He is probably shitting bricks. As you can see, he's recruiting troops because he knows Lu Bu is here. And I'm not here to have a tea party. I'm really here to take his keep. Now, the problem is that I will show you what happens when we attack his castle. Essentially, we can try and starve him out, but usually what the computer will do is they're just going to come out and attack me, which is a kind of a good thing because it gets them out of their castle. So you'll see what we do here. So we're going to declare war on Zhang Yang. And as you can see, Liu Bei's not really a fan of that. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen that before, actually. Liu Bei wants to make us pay to request war on Zhang Yang. I have never seen that. Oh, wow. I guess I'm just not a vassal very often. So we don't have a lot of money. He basically wants to give us to give all our money to fight him. We're going to do it because we need a castle. We need a home. We're not really going to spend much time at Xia. We're going all in. So as you can see, if we just fought this battle right now, we will lose. So what we're going to do is we are going to build siege equipment. And we are going to essentially continue this siege. Now, when you declare a siege, that means you are basically just starving them out, waiting for them to see and waiting for them to make a move. So I can promise you they're going to come out of this castle and they're probably going to come fight us. As you can see, because we declared war on Zhang Yang, which weirdly enough is a very popular person, we have made a lot of people already unhappy with us, including Li Ju, Zhang Jiang, Gongshong Zhong even isn't happy with us. The only person that actually likes us right now is Kong Rong and Liu Bei, which is kind of funny. So we are going to reject this. I don't know why we would pay him 333 gold every 10 turns. That's ridiculous. So let us see what our friend here is going to do. I would assume he's going to come out and fight us. Now, some of them don't. Some of them, the computer sometimes gets a little scared, and they'll just sit in there and turtle as long as they can. So that they did come out. So if you click the map view, it will show you the battle. So we're going to fight right on the waterfront, which is really cool. Wait till you see the battle scene. I'm actually going to fight this battle. Now, we are outnumbered by quite a bit, but we have Liu Bei. And as Liu Bei says, doesn't matter if we're outnumbered 20-1, we still have a chance. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to fight this battle. So every warrior, every ruler that you choose, their very first battle, they have like an intro like that. I think Liu Bei's is incredibly sick. He's like, yeah, I killed Dong Zhuo. Now everybody hates me. Let's fight the whole world. This dude is just awesome, man. This guy's awesome. I feel like every kid, when we were all kids, we all wanted to be Liu Bei, man. And me and my friends back in the day, when we found Dynasty Warriors on the PS2, we would go outside with wrapping paper rolls and pretend like they're weapons and be like Dynasty Warriors characters. We would battle in the backyard. Man, those are awesome days. And everybody always wanted to be Liu Bei, man. Because basically we would just always let Liu Bei win. So whoever was Liu Bei would basically win every fight. And we would just pretend like we were dead and do like the death scenes. You know how like they fall on their knees and they say something. We would like fall over and be like, oh, I've lost my kingdom. You know, just funny stuff, man. Those are great days. I miss those days. So here is a pre-battle. Now, as you can see at the start of the battle, you cannot see them right away. But as you can see, we have the upper hand here. As Obi-Wan Kenobi would say, we have the higher ground. Now, this battle is really cool because we are fighting them right on the river. So here is the river. Very cool. And their kingdom, or the place that we are sieging, is over here. So because they decided to come fight us out of the castle, this isn't a castle battle. So the red arrow over here is where the reinforcements come. As you can see, they are coming from the castle. Now, now I like to kind of cheese these battles because if we are ever outnumbered, the enemy will always come towards us. So because I set up or I unlocked those towers in that skill tree, we can basically set up these archer towers and the enemy will basically come to us because, well, we're outnumbered and the computer really isn't that smart. We are going to set up some wooden stakes. I like to put these in the corners because that helps us not get absolutely flanked by cavalry. So as you're going to see, I'm also going to put my spearmen on the side here guarding because the computer loves to try and flank with cavalry. That's like their favorite thing to do. So we are going to set up our units and we are obviously going to put our archers in the back. Now, Chen Gong, obviously, as you can tell, melee power 6. He's not a fighter. You do not want him in the battle. He will die. So I like to chill and have him behind the archers. He's really just there for moral support. As you can see, Liu Bei, a little bit different. He has traits and abilities that are used during battle, but as you can see, we are not playing the romance version, so it's not like he's not unkillable. He will still walk into an army and absolute decimate them, but he is still killable. So let's go ahead and let's play the game. So I'm going to have Liu Bei post back just a little bit more because the archers will love to play against him or shoot him. Oh, by the way, you can zoom in very close. So here are our units. Very cool. Now, obviously, as you upgrade your units throughout the game, they look a lot cooler. These are literally just militia units. So they don't look very cool. They're just like an average dude like me and you. Here is Liu Bei. And here is Chen Gong with his unit. Now, every unit in non-romance, they have a bodyguard unit. And then you have our archers. So as you can see, we have the higher ground here, but that means we can see vision on them. Now, if we were the other way, we wouldn't really be able to see the enemy units, and that would be a problem. So as you can see here, they are waiting for their reinforcements to come. There they are. And as you can see, they are slowly marching towards us. Now, these battles are all about mismatches. Obviously, you want the cavalry to be charging men with just axes. You don't want them charging at people with spears. That would just be a bad idea. So I wouldn't, for example, let's take a look. I wouldn't have my cavalry, for example, charge into these guys. I mean, that's just not a smart idea. As you can see, their role right there on the left says anti-cavalry. Now, luckily for us, we don't have cavalry, but that also means I'm not going to just send my units there. Now, the nice thing about us having the upper hand here, the higher level, is that the archers can't shoot as far as we can shoot them. So you're going to see that here pretty soon. I am going to speed this up. You can speed up the battle speed just so we can get to the battle quicker. Now, this will be a very basic battle since we're in the beginning of the game. This will be a pretty easy win for us, I would assume. We are going to, let me zoom in a little bit. You'll see the archer towers. Eventually they'll start shooting arrows. So as you can see, the cavalry right there, let me put it on normal speed. The cavalry there is spreading out because they want to flank, but you can really slow them down with the stakes because eventually they'll have to go all the way around. And by then we'll be winning half of the battle anyways. So they're doing the same thing over here. And as you can see, our archer tower is shooting them. You can hear it in the background. This game is just awesome, man. I love this game so much. So they see how we have the stakes set up. They're like, oh no, what do we do? So that's where I am going to actually send Liu Bei. Liu Bei is essentially my flanker or my flank help. So they want to start the battle early. I'm sending in Liu Bei right now. He's going right after him. And now we have our front lines getting ready to start. Our archers are raining down. Here we go. Here we go. And now our frontline battle has begun. Looks like he charged us here. Now, if you don't Always control your units. As you can see, they will chase the fleeing units. We've already got the units to flee. So I'm going to bring Liu Bei back here. And I'm going to bring our spearmen back here. I'm going to bring Liu Bei into the main lines. And I'm going to have him fight this general. I'm going to switch my bow units to attack this target instead. So Liu Bei already made that guy run for his life. We're going to pull Liu Bei back here and help the archers. If the cavalry ever charges archers, the archers will automatically stop shooting. So as you can see, they got a perfect flank on us. And now they're just going to absolutely destroy this archer unit. I'm going to bring Chen Gong in there. And I'm also bringing Liu Bei back to help as well. So as you can see, the enemy is already retreating. We are just absolutely destroying them. Here's the remnants of the front line. It's really awesome when the archers shoot your guys. They put their shields up. Here's all the dead bodies. This game is absolutely awesome. I know I'm not the greatest battle expert, but this is just a lot of fun. So as you can see, we have already decimated their cavalry. They want nothing to do with us. Liu Bei is just an absolute monster. And it keeps track of their kills too. Liu Bei has 106 kills already. We're going to put the archers back attacking the front line. Now, units, when they flee, they have a chance to recuperate and come back. So you can see they're slowly starting to charge us. We're raining down arrows on them. They don't have shields. The other general's retreating. We're going to bring these spearmen in. We're going to move in these units. They're going to just do a full-on charge here. Now they will kill. You will see like kills like right there. Just awesome. Awesome stuff, man. Look at that. It's really cool. Really, really cool. So obviously they're just raining down arrows on us. They don't really have much. This battle is essentially already over. I'm going to have Liu Bei go in a frenzy here, and he's just going to run it down on these arrows. Watch this. That's the last thing you would want to see, just being an archer, man. Here we go. Oh, that's so sick, dude. Just absolutely destroyed that unit. Liu Bei just gained like 100 kills off of that. Going to the next unit. Now, obviously, this is what you want to do with really any of your cavalry units is get them in the back line and just absolutely destroy them. So as you can see, Liu Bei is just an absolute menace in this battle, just killing anything. We're already getting them to retreat. Like I said, this is the beginning of the game, so these battles are pretty easy. When the computer starts upgrading units, getting alliances that come kill you as well, it gets a lot more difficult. So that was probably one of the easiest battles I've ever done, and we just completely destroyed them. But that's what having the higher ground does. Strategy on the map is huge in this game. You wouldn't believe. So as you can see, it shows your kills down here. He ended up killing 55 of our units. Liu Bei would just went on a killing spree, killing 459 troops, man. That sounds like some Dynasty Warriors numbers. That man went crazy. And it also shows some of your units getting kills too. One of our spear units got 52 kills. They actually killed a good amount of our units, but, obviously not enough. Now that we've defeated them outside of the castle, that means they essentially retreat to back inside the castle. So they have they've lost 700 troops. We captured 140 of them. We're just going to execute them. Like I said, no prisoners. We're going to take the supplies here because we are in siege. You will lose supplies. That red bar under the green bar is your energy. That's how much you can move in a turn. The red bar is your supplies for that army. So we have essentially basically decimated this guy. He has nothing else, and we have our siege unit built. We are just taking him out, and we are going to finish him off right here. So as you can see, we have completely wiped him out. Now we're going to occupy this. You can loot and occupy it. That means you sack it. You basically sack it, or you can sack it and withdraw, or you can just set it on fire if that's really what you want to do. But we're going to take it because we need a home. This is our new home, boys. So we have done what the narrator told us to do, and that said, try to make friends with Liu Bei and try to escape up north. And that's exactly what we did. We ran up north, up the river. Liu Bei bailed us out, but Liu Bei has something coming for him, man. What he doesn't know is eventually we are going to come and absolutely destroy him as well. I'm going to end the first playthrough here. We are going to do a series on this of where I just keep continuing this game. Please be sure to subscribe. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.